So I've been playing Nobody Wants to Die on the PS5 since yesterday, and I'm about halfway through the game right now as I understand it. It's not one of the longest games out there, but I did want to give my early thoughts on this because I do have enough of an opinion on the game already, despite not having finished it, to say that you should absolutely play this game. I think it's a lot of fun, and the coolest thing about it is that I know people watching me stream the game are going to be like, well, I'm watching you stream it, why should I play it? And the reason for that is because the branching dialogue options and all of the things that you can unlock during the conversations in this game are completely different based on the decisions you make during your playthrough and the decisions that you choose. And there's multiple branching off points. It reminds me a lot of, I think it was called Once Human, the one where you played like three different AIs, and you had to deal with, was it Chicago? I don't remember I don't remember the name of the game. I think it was Once Human. Anyway, it had really cool branching dialogue like that. So early thoughts on No One Wants to Die, Nobody Wants to Die. This is a walking sim, I guess is what some people call it. It is a kind of like it reminds me of the old point and click adventure games, is what it reminds me of. It is a narrative based story. You are a detective in a future New York City. So this is a sci-fi noir tale in a very dystopian future where it reminded me a lot of Altered Carbon, to be honest with you. If you guys ever watched that show on Netflix, I've never read the books. I've only seen the show. That's the reference that I'm pulling from. The show was awesome. I was really disappointed to see that one get canceled. But the concept here is that, and I'm not spoiling anything by saying this because it's in all the trailers and everything else. Essentially, humanity has figured out a way to transfer consciousness from one body to the next. And in this case, we're picking up only a few hundred years after that has happened, but we're already starting to see the cracks in society because of this, where you still have a very wealthy elite who can afford to live forever, and the poor are basically indentured servitudes providing bodies to the rich. And only by amassing exceptional amounts of wealth can you actually afford to buy a body from auction and use that body to transfer your consciousness. And the auctions are all done through the government. It's all taxed. It's all legislated. And everyone from the age of 21, I think at the start of the game, is required by law to register their body as a donor body. And then the whole part of what the story is going on here as you're coming to uncover things is that there's legislation in place to adjust that age. And what you're really doing is you are investigating a murder. I got to be careful of how I say this so I don't spoil anything. You're investigating a murder in the future that has to deal with someone who was ruthlessly taken out in such a way as to ensure that they never come back again and cannot transfer their consciousness. And that starts this panicked investigation, which again reminds me a lot of that first episode of Altered Carbon, where that's the whole plot of the first season is the dude who's been around forever. Somebody tried to kill him permanently, and he's trying to figure out who done it. So at the core of this, you are a detective, and there's a lot of noir stuff here for those of you who are familiar with that genre. Our main character, the detective himself, smokes a lot of cigarettes and can choose to drink heavily if you want him to. I have been choosing to have him drink heavily throughout my playthrough because I like the idea of him just basically going off his rocker as he goes through this investigation, and he just starts drinking and more heavily, and it's influencing who he is. It's very interesting to see how the conversation choices have panned out. I highly doubt that I'm going to be getting I don't know if I'll get a good ending. As I understand it, this game has multiple endings based on the decisions you've made during conversations. I feel like my decisions are pointing towards more of a middle of the road path. I know I've made a couple of decisions that are considered bad because I was looking at it from the perspective of what if I was this jaded, cop who's in indentured servitude for the next 100 years of his life as a minimum wage servant of the government, and he used to be a baseball star. Like there's all this stuff at play that influences my decisions. So it's been very genuinely fun to see all that play out. The game looks absolutely breathtaking. I really like the style. It is a unique art style. The city is very rainy. It's very, very Blade Runner. It's not cyberpunk. There are aspects of it that might look a little bit like what you would see in a cyberpunk, but it's way more dirty, gritty, I would say Blade Runner-esque than anything else. And there are just some really cinematically beautiful shots in this game from the gameplay I've seen so far. No combat, which is really nice. It's just dialogue and moving around and pointing and clicking on things. You do have a tool set that you use to solve murders, so there is a little bit of a not just solve murders, but to solve crimes as a whole. So you get like there's like a scanner machine for x-rays. There's another one that does blue light. Then you have this thing that kind of reminds me of the brain dance technology in Cyberpunk 2077, where you can highlight a specific moment, a place or location or person or thing or whatever in an area, and you can sort of extrapolate seconds around that event with this device that you have. And so you can see just before and just after this moment in time, and you can use that to analyze and find clues. And then when you get to crime scenes, you'll be going around to different locations on the crime scenes and using this device to pull out clues from these different areas. Then you take those clues back to your apartment and you assemble those clues on like a diagram with your companion, and you use those clues to make hypotheses, and then that's how you move the story forward. So there are some aspects of puzzle systems here, but it's mostly just trial and error. And quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. In some cases, just using logic and reason. Not everything works out the same. Like, not everything makes sense the way I would think it makes sense, but as you plug clues into the hypotheses and you figure out how it all works, it's like, oh, okay, I get where they're going with this. So it's not overly challenging. It's not overly taxing. I played it for 3 hours during last night's stream. And could have kept going other than I'd already been streaming for like 9 hours yesterday, which is way more than I normally do. But Chris is at a birthday party, so I was like, I'm just going to play video games. A lot of fun with this game. It is for the price point. I do understand this is a short game. I read online that this is most people are getting between 6 and 7 hours out of their first playthrough, and some people are getting 10-ish, like 10 to 12. But it honestly depends on what dialogue options are you choosing, how thoroughly are you investigating each area, are you exploring all the side content, and everything else. So mileage may vary on that front. I have a feeling I'm going to be in the 5 to 6 hour range. I read somewhere on Reddit that was what they got, was like 5.5 hours. And I feel like, because I'm definitely not exploring every nook and cranny, I've just been like hyper focused on this journey of the detective and loving every minute of it, and exploring his past and everything else. So, I expect one more good session and I'll wrap it up. But I don't often do early thoughts videos for short games like this, but I'm having so much fun. I wanted to push this out because I really do think it's worth the price tag. I have a PS Plus subscription and an Xbox Game Pass subscription, and I think I paid like $23. I think it's $25, but then I got a discount, so I got up to like 22 or 23 or something like that. But for the price point, I mean, a $25 indie game that gives you, let's say, 10 hours of entertainment, I think that's good bang for your buck if you like cinematic storytelling. This is like going to the movies. You're going to be sitting down through a mini series of events here. A lot of fun. I recommend it. Love the voice acting. Love the writing. The writing is fantastic. The art style is great. My initial reaction out of the gate is a 10 out of 10. Obviously, I'll be giving a review after I finish the game, but I have nothing bad to say about this title. There's one shot in particular when he's like having this moment after this crime scene, and he's like laying back on the hood of his hover car right here, up on the tops, heights of New York City, with just traffic all below him and the skies above. And he's having a moment where he's just drinking a bottle of whiskey, smoking cigarettes, and like reminiscing about things. And you're making decisions about his past and what he thinks about things. And I was just like, the atmosphere is phenomenal in this game. So highly suggest you take it out. I'll have more as we continue to play the game, stream the game. The episodes are being produced in 30-minute segments. If you want to watch the Let's Play series, you can also just check the streams. And of course, there'll be a review after I get done. But I do play a lot of other games, so make sure to check out the lists below, all the playlists on YouTube, daily streams here and on Twitch. There's a Patreon, a Discord, and all the socials, so we'll see you there as well. Until next time, stay safe. Happy gaming.